right? So this one, it's pretty easy, straightforward how to scribble. So mostly I wouldn't be thinking too much, but I would just emphasize on the areas that I want to illustrate the shadows, because for scribbles the shadows is what helps sell the work and makes it more 3D, right? Because everything is going to be in 2D format, right? And you would have to add enough details in order to make it appear pleasing, right? And the details are pretty much like the scribbles that we do, like the scribbles that you're doing right now. Let me zoom a bit closer so that you can see that there isn't much that I'm doing here that it's too difficult that you can't do, right? So you just hey, anime art frenzy. Whoa, man, it's been a while. How you doing? So right, then you just scribble these ones out like that. You just go right. So between the ears and the this place, you just want to go a little more darker because that's where the shadows would reside, right? And guys, let me know if this angle is good for you. I'm trying to figure out the best angle for both of us, right? And I'm trying to add another piece of the ear because it might be folded, right? Like something like that, right? But it's not a mess. You wouldn't you could decide not to do it, right? So like that, and here adding a little more details here. Scribble it, scribble. And basically how I'm scribbling this thing is you are just doing stuff. I mean, I'm gonna show you how to scribble this thing to make it free form in a moment. Let me get my rough sketchbook. So if you have a sketchbook like this, what I'm basically doing is mostly drawing an S in patterns, right? You repeat this S formats and you'll be able to produce the edges as it is, right? So there isn't too much that you cannot do, right? So but you have to try and understand what goes into lighting, right? If you're able to understand a little bit about light, how light works, when you're scribbling, it will be a lot easier because it'll be easier for you to be able to mimic light, right? So we have this down. I'm gonna shade this area like this because this area is gonna be the ear, the folded ear, or probably a ribbon in the hair, whatever that it's used the character that we are trying to create, right? And we're gonna shade it dark because of the lighting. I'm gonna go here. All right, so basically I'm just scribbling. I'm not doing a lot. It's just my proportion. I think the proportions are intact, so whatever that you do within this is just gonna come out as it makes a lot of sense, right? So like that. We go like this. So this is it. And I'm gonna add a little bit of the body to add a little bit of context to it. All right, so the body, you scribble it like this. scribble, right? You don't do too much. You don't overthink it. I feel like the whole point of scribbles is just to help you relax, right? After you've had a long day, or let's say you're pretty bored with waiting in line, or whatever the reason might be, right, that you is getting you bored, right? You can just grab a pen and just start to scribble, right? So I'm gonna leave this place, right? I'm gonna leave this place white. I'm not gonna do too much here, because when you scribble, you shouldn't fill the whole area, right? You shouldn't try to fill the whole area with these sketchy, rough, what you call it, um, lines that they don't really make any sense, right? You wouldn't want to have too much of those, right? You just scribble and have the lights tell the story of what you're trying to say. I'm gonna introduce my red pen here, just to add this like a dog tag around his neck here, you know, so something like this. Right, so then I have this. So now you see, like, there isn't a lot going on. However, there's a lot going on, if you understand what I'm saying, right? So you have this. And beneath his body here, we're gonna go a little bit darker because of the shadows. And his body here, we're just gonna leave it a bit rough. All right, so you have this as like this. And yes, with these kind of sketches, you wouldn't want to do too much, right? Because if you overdo it, then it's in my opinion, it fails the purpose, right? But you can add elements to it. For example, with this one, you might decide to add some ribbons to it, or add some signs around them like this, you know, like he's shaking or something. I'm trying to find a good angle. Yeah, I feel like this one is better. Let me know, guys, what you think about this angle. So yeah, I add in much more details here. Like so. Right? Then you go like this. And voila. Right, you can keep adding more scribbles to it depending on how detailed you want it. But at the moment, I'm just gonna pause on this one, and I'm gonna make another sketch to explain another what you call it, another approach in doing this thing, right? What should I do? A cat? You guys want to see a cat? A scribble of a cat? All right, let me do a cat. I'm gonna do a cat, and I'll do an elephant. Do a cat, right? So with this one, now I have this. I'm gonna try and make another one. So I'm gonna start off right like this. Probably make a bunny. Right, and I have this. Then add in the details, not the details, but the proportion, right? The proportions are so important. And when you're scribbling, what you got to keep in mind is the edges. The edges doesn't have to be very well defined, because we don't want to have solid line or running around these edges, right? We're just gonna keep it like that. And for the eyes, it's okay, you can make it solid. Right, and after I get the eyes down, I like to fill everything before I start adding the details into it, because that would probably guide me into the direction where I'm going, right? So you just take your scribble, you just fill it out as dark as you can. You know, something tells me this is gonna look like a bunny, but I don't have a bunny in mind. Right, so I have this eyes down, and I'm just gonna make the nose like that. All right, then fix the nostrils. Then I'm gonna go ahead and shape the nostrils. All right, just try to define it before you move on, before you start the scribbling. I've found that once I get my hands moving and making all of these scribbles, it's really hard for me to realign and and do the different form of shading that is different from the scribbles. Because like here, when you look at it, you realize that how I'm shading here is a little different from how these scribbles are. They're a little different languages, right? So I try to finish one thing all at one time before I would move on to a different one. Let's say sticking his tongue out like that. We're gonna give us a line like this. Let's another line here. I'm going to do this. All right, so I have this now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the scribbling, right? Just start from the ears and just right. Just get the border lines going on smoothly. Right, get the borderlines going. Then add a little bit for these scribbles around it. Right, when you start off, it's always gonna look rough, not good, not, should I say, professional, huh? Not something that you would be proud of. But trust the process and keep working at it. All right, you just trust the process and keep adding before you realize that you just gonna have something that really makes a lot of sense. Right, so like as it is, you wouldn't say that this looks good. It looks like somebody did, like a kid in first grade is waiting for the school bus and did this kind of sketch, right? But trust the process and keep adding on, right? You keep adding and keep adding, you keep adding. But as you keep adding, you keep the source of light that you want to portray in mind. Okay, you remember the source of light. Like if you want the source of light to be hitting him from here or be hitting him from here, like from what we have right now, it appears the source of light will be from here because I've already shaded this area and I have less what is it called, the scribbles here, less lines here. So I'm gonna add the, we're going to presume that the scribbles, the source of light is hidden from here, right? Okay, so I'm going to go in here and do this just to add a little bit of detail around the eyes, make it look a little bit more cuter. All right, and around the eyes I just add in my, keep adding in my scribbles there, right? All right, so here just going to do this. All right, just add these scribbles like that. And add these like the, right, make it appear easy, right? No too much. All right, so I'm gonna have this go in again, keep adding my scribbles, make it appear a lot more fun and, should I say, easy going. All right. All right, so since the light is hitting him from here, this side is gonna be a lot more darker. All right, so we have this, and keep adding in. Now you see how it's looking now? It's looking like a third grade now. So let's keep working on it. So these are some of the details that you might have to keep in mind. The direction of your strokes when you're working on the, or should I say, the if you want it to appear a lot more puffy, right, then the direction of the strokes are very important. Right now I have this, like I said, looking. I'm gonna take my pen and so inside his mouth, we're gonna go all dark. We're gonna fill the whole thing, right? And give it this kind of feeling, right? Yeah. So because of the light source coming in from here, or this area, we wouldn't do too much. We're just gonna fill it in like that and leave it at that as it is. Right? Nice. All right. So far so good. gonna do one final one. I'm gonna do one last one here, right? And you guys can tell me what you think about it. What should I do next? You guys, okay? I have a good idea of what to do next. Okay, now here for the nose, you realize that how I'm shading it, I'm going upwards. Right, just because of the direction of the light. So beneath his nose, all this area is gonna be dark. Right, and as it goes up, it's gonna be much lighter. The nostrils itself, all of it gonna be darker. Right, so that's the first stage to this. I'm gonna come around his eyes. This looking like the guy who likes Acorn from Ice Age. I don't remember his name, but alright. So I'm gonna do the ears, the sagging ears. Go like this, and you can see starting to show itself, right? There we go. All right. Oh, I have this. Now you realize that for the for this side, because this direction we're going a little more to the left, like this, and this direction we're going to the right, so it's opposite direction. So this area there's gonna be because the direction here is like this one is left, this one's to the right. We're gonna leave this place to make it feel like it's a overexposure of the light. Mostly that's what happens when you have different directions of the fur. If you take any picture and you study it closely, you would come across such. All right, so now it's time for me to draw the eyes. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna fill all of it. Now I'm gonna show you a secret here, or something that is very interesting, right? Like you pay attention to how I shade, how I was shading here, and how I shaded here, right? Because I moved vertical, realize that these eyes are not looking more like solid eyes or like a 3D eyes. It appears to be much more flat, right? Because of how I shaded it. So I'm gonna fix that by adding curved lines, right, to get it to pop a little more, right, to go this way, right, to get it. So with that, now I have this. I want all of the eyes to be like seriously colored, right? But the direction you go is very important, because if you don't go the right direction, it's just gonna feel like it's flat. So you keep that in mind when you I'm not liking how the eyes is looking, so I'm gonna make it more like a glasses and give it like he's wearing some sort of spectacles to make it spectacular. All right. I realized that the style of shading of this one and this one and this one, this and this is pretty similar. This one is so different from the rest because this one's the approach is this, and here I'm using just straight lines to do this shading. Since the ears are overlapping, I'm gonna go a lot more darker here. Right. Right. So right now we'll be trying to differentiate between the midtones and the highlights. All right. So we're just gonna work on that. All right. All right. I need to add a touch of red to it. Right. Because when you look at the zip up with this, but maybe I'll make it the glasses. Right. All right. Fill it in. All right. Right. So when you're scribbling, you keep everything easy and soft. Now, when you see this, we went from a lighter form of scribble to a mid and a very dark form of scribbles, right? All right, so I'm gonna do one more sketch, right? I'm just gonna do one more sketch, and we'll call it a day. All right. So that's it. That's it for today, guys. Kindly like, subscribe. We're coming back again tomorrow, and tomorrow we're gonna work on anime. All right, we're working on anime for tomorrow. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys soon. All right, bye bye.